Hello, internet entrepreneurs. Let us talk about how to curate content for social media marketing success. Question: how do prospects see your brand? These days, I regularly find comments on buyer's guides about how a company does not maintain or update their social media accounts. The challenge for entrepreneurs, for brand owners, is to do what it takes to keep their social media accounts fresh. For one, social media ROI is not so easy to compute in a very immediate sense. And on top of that, what does it take to keep your social media accounts active? Today, we are exploring one of the easiest ways to keep your feeds updated, and that would be content curation. Here are two key things that make curation valuable. Number one, it is easier and less expensive versus other ways of generating content. Number two, you are more likely to share something valuable because you are working with, number one, everyone's work around the entire internet, and number two, based on the social proof that they're already getting. If something does not appear to work, why curate it, right? Okay, stay alert because you will get 3 actionable tips in the end. My name is Allan from NorthStories.io, and today we will dive into 3 hot stories around the web regarding content curation. 1, 2, and 3. Story number 1: why content curation is an essential part of your marketing mix from Top Rank Marketing Blog. Before diving into how, let us discuss why we should curate content in the first place. And Joshua Knight at Top Rank Marketing Blog nicely laid out these 5 reasons. Number 1 is to help fill your editorial calendar. Number 2 is to vary your content so you're not promoting all the time. 3 is to enhance your brand's credibility regarding the subject matter. 4 is to expand your audience, reaching folks using other people's authority. And finally, sparking relationships with influencers. This is spot on because if you think about it, we are curating content now, and this is the same reason why we find Joshua's content valuable for mentioning today here. Alright, every brand needs to stay active on social. Every brand needs to be careful with too much promotional content. Your 5-minute tip for turning this into action is to check your proportion of self-promotional content. How often do you blog? How often do you tweet? Now, based on that, for example, in every 10 posts, how many of your posts are promotional offers? Content curation allows you to have the right mix of educational, inspirational, and self-promotional content so you're not promoting all the time. This way, your followers would not feel that you're merely broadcasting promos. You can mix it up with related educational and inspirational content from other sources. Alright, story number 2 is 23 ideas for content curation. Cheers to Daniel at Smart Insights. They outline these 3 things. Number 1, where to source content. Number 2, what kind of content to curate. And number 3, where to publish curated content. Here are some highlights. Number 1 is to look at content from newsletters. 2 is to use news aggregators. 3 is to curate statistics and research and to add editorial opinions on top of those pieces of facts. 4 is to curate multimedia like YouTube embeds and even SlideShare embeds. Finally, publish the curated content using your different channels of reaching your audience like your blog, newsletter, white papers, PDFs, and your social media accounts. Alright, that was a great rundown by Daniel. Definitely useful for thinking about the complete process from discovering up to publishing content. Your 5-minute tip for moving forward with this is to list 5 brands that your audience will likely follow. Who are the influencers that are close to your values? Who would your subscribers appreciate to hear from? By listing down who to source your content from, you gain insight on your brand's positioning. After that, select top stories from these sources for you to share to your subscribers. Story number 3 is content curation tools that every marketer needs. Cheers to HubSpot and Patrick Armitage for this story. He listed content discovery tools for beginners and advanced users alike. Some highlights include number 1, Pocket, the read it later service. Number 2, newsletters. 3 would be a tool like Feedly for consuming your RSS news. 4 would be Storyfy, and finally Curate. This piece reminded me that there's so many tools, from the more basic consumption tools to the more advanced tools whose pricing information would not even be published. Having said that, focus more on the process rather than tools. Alright? When your curation game is on point, that is the time for you to explore the $500 per month solutions. Right? Start with a basic, ramp up later. At an earlier stage, look at free tools like Pocket, Feedly, and Flipboard. Your 5-minute tip for moving forward with this is to list your current consumption tools. Why? Number 1, you want to check your smartphone. Number 2, you have a browser history to take advantage of. Where do you tend to get the latest and most insightful stories? I strongly advise that you use your consumption habits. As a consumer, that is the mindset that you want whenever you're producing content, because you understand what's enjoyable and what is not effective. You are not a detached producer. Compare that to the perspective of someone who is merely trying to complete their work without having the good taste, the good judgment. As a consumer, you are in the mindset to see what your audience will enjoy as well as you are enjoying. Alright, there you have it. Your 3 5-minute tips are: number 1, to check your proportion of self-promotional content compared to educational and inspirational bits. Number 2, you want to list brands that your audience would likely enjoy. And number 3, you want to list your current news consumption tools. Choose one that you will practice today just for 5 minutes and pledge your commitment. Tweet it to me at Allan Caeg on Twitter. And see you again over here next week at northstories.io. Cheers and have a great day.